well, there's lots as well on what workers' rights are and what businesses do. We'll talk to a small business owner in a second. Debi Heath French is with us, as is Tina McKenzie. She is the head of the, let's just get her job title completely correct, she's the UK Policy Chairwoman of the Federation of Small Businesses. Let's start with Tina, Tina McKenzie MBE. Great to have you on the programme, Tina. We have all this change happening. We have a lot of businesses that are under a huge amount of pressure for all sorts of different reasons, and they're dealing with these changes that Angela Rayner's original bill has been implementing. I just wonder, from your perspective, whether you think it's fair and how you think businesses cope with this change.
I don't think it's fair, and I actually think it's really silly for everyone, because what we're doing is we're really hurting the economy, which means less tax take, which means less for vulnerable people, less for the NHS, less for education, and so the cycle goes on. So what we've done is we've increased costs, and especially on small businesses, they're the ones that help the young people back to work. The highest percentage of people that are economically inactive get jobs with small businesses, and we're really squeezing them, which means that the unemployment's going up. And not only has the unemployment gone up to 5.2%, but as you say, Peter, we've got the highest levels of youth unemployment in a decade. We have 1 million young people not in employment or education, and that's a travesty. So what we are doing as a country is not the right things. So by increasing national insurance, by increasing young people's cost to employ them, we call it the employment tax, by increasing business rates, by increasing statutory sick pay from the 1st of April, by widening all of these employment legislation, the whole legislation with 72 different pieces in there for small businesses to get their head around. It's like someone has said, what would you like to do to stop people hiring? And they've done that. And we've told the government, and I've told the government directly for months and months, and I told Angela Rayner, I told Johnny Reynolds, I've told the Chancellor, this is not going to be good for employment numbers, and the confidence levels out there for small businesses, our recent survey shows that it is the worst it's been since COVID. So the confidence level is low, the pressure on them is high, and the things we're doing are not going to lead to better outcomes for the unemployed, for the young people, or for the economy generally. So we've got to do some different things.
It's interesting, the government has been criticised, of course, on numerous occasions for its many U-turns, over a dozen, 15 or 16, depending on how you look at them. One of the U-turns they're looking at that I would actually support is reported on the front page of the Times today. Labour may drop youth wage pledge to boost costs. This is off the back of the fact that 1 in 6 18 to 24-year-olds are out of work because firms are considering them too costly to hire. Ministers considering ditching a manifesto pledge to pay young people the same national minimum wage as older workers. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, I do, because I'd rather that the young person is employed, maybe on 50p a pound less, but actually gets a job, than have 1 million of them unemployed. And not only that, we have less young people taking part-time jobs. So when we were at school, I might be a wee bit older than you, but when we were at school, we all had part-time jobs.
Yeah, I was a paper boy. I'll tell you what, I will date myself and tell you what I did as a part-time job. I worked in a video rental shop.
Ooh, Blockbusters maybe, back in the day. Well, actually, and I was working from 12, 13 in family businesses, and it was okay back then. It's against the law now, to try and get insurance, and you're under 16 to try and work. Try getting insurance to do that as a small business, or try and get your kids in to do any of that. Really, it's so difficult. So what we've got to do is we've got to say, okay, let's get kids back getting work experience again. Let's get it back into their curriculum, and let's say to the schools, thank you very much for getting the exams, but they also need work experience. Let's also ensure that small businesses that are going to hire those young people that have been out of work for a long time, let's not increase the cost to them employing them. Let's decrease those costs, get those kids back into work, and let's keep as much in those kids' pockets as possible. So, with the national insurance going up, with all of the other costs going up, statutory sick pay, everything else, it's just not attractive for people to employ young people anymore, or people that have been out of work for a long time. And we know today that if you're not in employment or education and you're 24, 45% of those young people have never had a job. That's unsustainable. And we're sitting in a country today with not just 5.2% unemployment, but we've 9 million people economically inactive. We've so many people that are off sick, can't get appointments at the NHS, can't get the treatment they want, or whatever else is going on beneath that. We want to hire those people as small businesses. We want to get them back into work. But if you make it so difficult, so costly, then the confidence is so low, then what do you expect them to do? They're just stopping with their hiring. And if you load on all these other, all this extra legislation, I mean, think about it. You're working in the summer in a pub and it's the World Cup. You take on a few students, whatever. See, when you start to read through this employment bill and what's expected of businesses now, you know, if they're working for this amount of weeks, you have to offer them a permanent job. I think some of the people that wrote this stuff actually have never run a business because
let's just stay where we are just for a second, Tina. We are going to talk to someone who is currently running a business, and I'll get your reaction to what Debi says. Debi Heath French is a small business owner. I have to declare an interest here in that she did my website very well, petercardwell.com. Debi, tell me what you're looking at on all of these different changes to the workforce and how you operate, and what Angela Rayner, obviously she's not in that role anymore, but what this piece of legislation that Labour has now passed will change for your business.
I think this is mental. So the way I'm going to come across to this is I've spoken to two of my HR clients today who I look after, and they've just said the pressure this is putting on the people they look after is just mad. It's just going to cost businesses so much more money. It is just mad, like what your lady just said there. You know, national insurance increases. I mean, even down to the cost of a pint. People aren't going to a pub. We spoke last month about, you know, making tax digital. I got a letter through yesterday saying it's going to cost me £45 plus VAT every 3 months, on top of them checking everything else they need to do. And then paying for zero. It's just, I think it's going to affect everybody, even up to larger companies, so much money.
So how many people do you employ, Debi? Just paint a picture of your business and how you employ people and what kind of decisions you might be forced to make as a result of this legislation.
So all of which we spoke about before, all of the guys that are involved in my business are contractors. I'm quite lucky like that. But I'd be really reluctant to take someone on because it's just going to cost so much money. I mean, the sheer fact, even talking to one of my HR people, you can take on somebody on day one and then on day two, they go, right, I want 2 weeks paternity leave. How are you going to cover that? It's going to cost more money to get agency staff in. But it's absolutely ridiculous.
So what is your message to the government then, Debi? What do you want to say to Rachel Reeves, to Steve Reid, to others who are putting this stuff through and saying, actually, perhaps, in your view, you just don't get it?
I'd say to them, why don't they go out for dinner with people like Zia Youssef, Richard Tice, who have run businesses? I really feel they need to go and communicate with people within their party who are looking after us, who have run businesses or still do or whatever, and actually go, do you think this is right? Because they're not doing it that way. They're just coming out with a win. They need to talk to people that are doing what we all do on a daily basis and realise, is this going to work? Because it doesn't work and it's not going to work. They are literally going to cripple us. And as one of my HR people said, you are destroying the UK PLC. It's not going to be valued anymore. What is the point?
Debi, thank you very much. Debi Heath French, there, small business owner. Going back to Tina McKenzie, who's UK Policy Chair of the Federation of Small Businesses, what Debi's saying there, somebody's at the coalface running a small business every single day, does that resonate with you? Is that what so many people have been saying to you, Tina? What would you pick up from what Debi has said there?
Absolutely, 100%. And it's unfortunate that people aren't listening to small businesses like Debi. And interestingly, Peter, in the UK today, we've 5.7 million businesses. 99.9% of them are SMEs. 99.9. So, and then you go to, well, how many have under 10 staff? You're talking about nearly 95% of the businesses in this country have under 10 staff.
Yeah.
Do we really want to go and continue to hurt them, continue to put them under? You know, it's not just one thing, it's a build-up. So you've got the increase for a lot of them in business rates that have just happened. You've got the increase in energy costs. The Chancellor did come out with protection for consumers on fixed costs, We don't have that for small businesses who are very much like consumers. They need protected as well. You've got the increase in minimum wage, you've got the increase in national insurance, the increase in statutory sick pay. It's like, where does it end? And unfortunately, my bigger concern, I've got two big concerns. Number one, if this economy, because we're flat, basically flat, if this economy starts to go backwards, the Chancellor has a bigger problem on her hand, because fiscal rules or no fiscal rules, we aren't going to be getting the money in. The tax take's going to decrease. And the second thing I'm genuinely worried about is that we're going to lose a generation of young people here. And so if she's to do a U-turn, or the Prime Minister's to do a U-turn, you know what, in business, we do U-turns all the time. We get things wrong. Do your U-turn. Get it sorted out, because the damage to the economy, if some of these small businesses, and we know they're shutting down every day, but if they stop hiring people, you have a big problem on your hands. Yeah. It's not rocket science. Make it easier to hire, make it less costly, stop taxing people to hire people, encourage them to hire people, and you'll take your tax out the other side. In the tax take, you will get more than you're putting in. And so maybe the Chancellor needs to have a word with the people that do the fiscal rules, and maybe needs to put her elbow to the wheel in terms of some of the union stuff as well, and really say to people, you know, we've got to protect the economy, and her colleagues need to get behind her if she does that. There's no point in not listening to your constituents across the country. And I'll finally say this, of the 5.5 million SMEs in our country today, they all have families. They'll be talking to their families about this. And so this is a voter issue. So all of those Labour MPs that are voting for all of this stuff, I'd say to them, think about the election. You want to support the small businesses in your local community and their families. Please don't harm them.
Thank you, Tina McKenzie there, Tina McKenzie MBE, UK Policy Chair of the Federation of Small Businesses. We also heard from Debi Heath French there, who's a small business owner. She does web design, branding and marketing.